Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're blasting off on an adventure to find out what it's really like to live and work way, way above our planet. So let's get right into it. Have you ever just looked up at the night sky and thought, man, what's it actually like up there? Well, today we are taking a virtual trip to find out exactly that. How astronauts eat, sleep, and just get through the day in one of the wildest places you can imagine. So, our first stop is the astronaut's home away from home, the International Space Station, or ISS for short. Just think of it like a giant, super high-tech house that's just constantly circling the Earth. Now, this house moves fast. I mean, we're talking 28,000 kilometers per hour. To put that in perspective, that's like traveling from New York to Los Angeles in about 10 minutes. It's that incredible speed that actually keeps the station locked in orbit. And because it's moving so unbelievably fast, the ISS circles the entire planet 16 times every single day. That's right, the astronauts on board get to watch 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets. And yeah, we'll definitely come back to that amazing fact a little later. So what's it like inside this floating house? Well, it has pretty much everything you need. There are these little sleeping quarters, a special area for eating, some seriously advanced science labs, and yep, even a gym. And of course, there's a communication station so they can talk to all of us down here on Earth. Okay, now let's talk about the biggest, most mind-bending difference between life on the ISS and life here on Earth. It all comes down to one simple but huge thing: gravity. Or, the fact that there basically isn't any. The official sciencey term for this is microgravity. It's the whole reason you see those incredible videos of astronauts and all their equipment just floating around so effortlessly. It looks like a ton of fun, but it makes even the simplest everyday tasks a real challenge. It's a pretty simple contrast, right? Here on Earth, gravity keeps our feet on the floor. But up in space, everything just floats. And I mean everything. Your tools, your food, you yourself. It all needs to be strapped down with stuff like Velcro and magnets so it doesn't just drift away. Which brings up a really good question. If everything is floating, how in the world do you have a meal? You can't just set a plate on a table and expect it to stay there. Well, astronaut food is specially designed for microgravity. A lot of it is freeze-dried, or it comes in these packets that you squeeze right into your mouth. Even the forks and spoons are magnetic so they stick to the food trays. And yes, space tacos are a real thing. Okay, so what about staying clean? You can't really take a shower when the water would just float away in 1,000 little bubbles. So astronauts use special wet wipes, a no-rinse shampoo, and even a special kind of toothpaste that's safe to swallow. No spitting required. And that brings us to another daily essential: sleep. I mean, think about it. If you just dozed off, you could float away and bump into some really sensitive equipment. So how do astronauts actually get a good night's rest? The solution is actually pretty simple, but totally effective. They zip themselves into these sleeping bags that are attached right to the walls of their little cabins. This keeps them safely in one spot while they drift off to sleep. But life in space isn't all about floating around and eating space tacos. Astronauts have a really packed schedule, and they're up there doing some seriously important work. Their days are filled with all sorts of things, from running crucial science experiments to fixing parts of the station and talking with mission control. But a huge part of their job is exercising for 2 hours every single day. Why? Because without gravity pushing down on them, their muscles and bones would get really weak. So that exercise is absolutely vital to keep them healthy. This idea of being self-sufficient is key. The very oxygen they breathe is generated from water, and they have this incredible system that recycles water from every possible source, even the moisture from their own breath. In space, you really can't let a single drop go to waste. All right, before we head back down to Earth, let's run through some awesome rapid-fire facts about life in space. Remember this number? Because the ISS orbits so fast, astronauts get to see an incredible 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets every 24 hours. Just try to imagine that view. Here's a fun one. With no gravity to pull things down, a normal toilet just wouldn't work. Instead, space toilets work like a vacuum cleaner, using air suction to, get the job done. And, a little comfort from home goes a long way. It turns out that peanut butter is a huge favorite among astronauts. It's high in protein, it's easy to eat from a packet, and, well, it's delicious. Okay, time for a quick pop quiz to see if you were paying attention. Why is it that astronauts float around on the International Space Station? If you said because of microgravity, you are absolutely right. It's that condition of near weightlessness that makes everything and everyone float free. But what happens when they finally come home? It's not as simple as just stepping off a plane. After months and months of just floating, an astronaut's body has to completely readjust to Earth's gravity. Their muscles are a lot weaker, so they often need help just to walk and have to go through a bunch of physical therapy to get their strength back. So, living in space is a huge challenge, from daily chores to that difficult return home. But it is also an incredible adventure that helps us understand our universe so much better. All of this amazing science, happening right now on the ISS and on future missions to places like Mars, it all starts with curiosity. So who knows? Maybe one day it'll be you exploring new worlds. Thanks for joining me.